TNG STAR3 back on Northern Waters, down in Group 7 now. Let me make a note about that, make sure I get that right.
Yep,
Okay.
see, that's what I'm doing too.
Yep. All right, let's have a quick peek over lineups. Zath, talk to me about TNG.
All right, well, TNG is bringing, for the first time today, a Colombo for us to see, plus a Yamato. They've got Venezia, Napoli, Des Moines, Moskva, Daring, Shimakaze, and Ragnar. What do we got for STAR3, sir?
STAR3 from the bottom end of the map, bringing one of your favorite battleships, Burgonia, paired up with the Yamato, double Napoli and Nevsky, and 4 destroyer Zaths, Gearing, Marceau, Vamp Deuce, and a Ragnar of their own.
You know, I was wondering when we would see this ship.
Which one?
The Burgonia, because it's a very fast ship. It's essentially just like an Henri on steroids. I guess now you might even consider it, you know, even better than the super ship, I suppose. But, you know, it's fast. The guns have really good penetration. I mean, it's basically an Alsace, right? So you could build it for secondaries. It's kind of a meme if you do that. The biggest thing about it is its speed. And you can get to places.
The TNG lineup, Zath, is an interesting mishmash of clans, right? We see some TNG players, mostly TNG players. We're used to seeing that. A couple of SCCC guys sneaking in here, which is interesting. But Zath, there's a third clan tag on that team that we've not seen in a very long time.
What clan tag would that be, sir?
Don't you see ZR over there, Zath?
I do.
Now, for those of you that don't remember or are new to the game, you might not have heard of a clan here on NA called ZR. Their full handle is Absolute Territory. They actually were the victors of King of the Sea 6. But back around King of the Sea 7 and 8, they had a significant drop-off in their player attendance, unable to field a full team. I think in King of the Sea 8 was their final appearance. They knocked together kind of a mishmash team between a couple of groups. But ultimately, we haven't seen anybody wearing that tag in King of the Sea in a very long time.
Now, do you remember what ZR was all about?
I do.
Do you remember
and
the significance?
I do, and I'm not going to get into it here because this is a family stream.
Because somebody here does not like weebs.
I try to make it a family stream. But, well, okay, so there's weebery, and then there's what this references, and we're not going to get into that. We're just not. Now, what's interesting so far, Zath, is that we're seeing the Vampire 2 picking up B, and for the moment, TNG seems totally on board with that. They tried to push the Daring in, realizing it wasn't going to work, pulled him way back, and it is what it is. But the Yamato, Zath, go ahead.
Do you realize this? Yeah, he's been getting farmed. We were watching him for a bit. But do you realize that this is, I think, the third time now we've seen a Vamp Deuce do exactly this play? Right?
It is. It's and again, this is another one of these, in my mind, a map-dependent option or map-dependent choice that makes the Vampire 2 a really solid pick in this format on this map. For the same reason that we used to see people bring Z52, Zath, all the time for this exact duty. Now people are ringing Vampire 2, and I think it's a good choice.
That's right. Meanwhile, the Yamato now deciding he doesn't want any more of this, but he's unfortunately coming out into more guns.
In my mind, he's still showing not too much angle to Late Light if Late Light's guns are ready.
It's not so much the angle, it's more just nice hit on Harbinger, but it's more just the fact that he's going to be under sustained fire for even longer now.
Double fire there out of the Moskva's guns as more of the Yami shells falling in, getting another 4 or 5K.
That's the point I'm getting at, is the decision to pull forward like this is basically a decision to lose this ship. It's not going to be immediate, but it's going to happen.
Well,
and I feel like he wanted to turn out. He was fixing to turn out. Now he's on triple fire, and he... You know, I have a feeling possibly was told by, you know, by the caller, don't turn out. So now he's like, okay, well, do you want me just to sit here and die?
Yeah. I mean, because if you're TNG, you're absolutely calling for focus fire on this ship from anybody who's got a shot. Look, I mean, it's an opposing battleship. You're not even 5 minutes in. And, you know, this guy's down to 20K. Like, he's healing now, but, I mean, you're well into his health pool.
Yes. Oh, Gearing goes down.
Whoa. What happened there, I wonder?
Radared.
And the
radar.
Colombo zap. The Colombo bagging the kill with the SAP.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an impressive shot. We haven't seen a lot out of Colombos in competitive, so it's really neat to see a Colombo doing this kind of work.
STAR3 with a big push. Have you been watching the zap? Big push up the 9-10 line. They're going to pick up C somewhere here in a minute. Well, this is where it's going to happen. They're absolutely going to... Well, they were going to pick up C until A-Line Ranger drove out of it, and now there's nobody in the cap. That's a mistake for sure. They're so intent on pushing the Shimakaze and bagging the kill, they didn't slow down long enough to pick up the cap. But the Shima's absolutely in trouble. The Marceau can run him down, electing not to, though, as he turns away. There goes the Yamato.
There goes the Yamato.
It's
actually died a little bit quicker than I expected.
Yeah, it's a 2-ship lead now for TNG, although they could have potentially picked up this Shimakaze if they had elected to pursue it, but they didn't.
And a Line Ranger is going to find the island.
He's going to absolutely pull a Notzer there.
He is dark, though, so there's that.
Yeah, he hasn't fired in a while, so he's kind of got no reason to be spotted. As the Ragnar is the one now putting shells in on Hakui Kori.
That's right. And here comes the Yamato shell. No, that could have been so painful on Rodrigo.
See, this Ragnar, Kandel's Ragnar, is running survivability expert. You can see there with 30,000 hit points. Be contested now as Righteous Fury's Daring gets in there to go up against Almirante's Vampire as the Moskva moves up to pitch in and pitches in big time. Big hit there out of his main battery.
Absolutely. And because that Yamato died, there's really not much to hold him in place.
Cristoforo Colombo shells SAP coming in from long range, doing good work on Almirante as well.
Almirante he's still on radar.
He's very low, 1,500 HP. A couple of shells will end this poor vampire's life.
I have a feeling he was trying to wait out the radar and then realized, wait a minute, it's not ending.
waiting out the radar is just going to get you dead. I'm surprised
There's the smoke.
He does. The radar ends. The smoke goes up.
I'm surprised the Daring didn't just come out and finish the job.
I am a little surprised. They do big him up. Look at that.
Speaking of that.
So a Colombo shell comes in, and the Ragnar finally manages to land the killing blow, and that's all she wrote.
That's it, guys.
Nice coordinated push against that vampire, Zap. That's the kind of thing, a lot of teams, you stick that vampire in there, and you think, all right, well, this is over. They're going to have a hard time pushing in, but a nice coordinated push there. The Ragnar from the 4 line, the Moskva radar, the Daring moving in, but really the Colombo SAP shells there doing good work.
Yep, and meanwhile, the Napoli and Des Moines chasing down the Star Nevsky. So he's pretty much on his way out.
Oh, yeah. I see him now way down on the eye line.
Yep.
He's going out. The Napoli secondaries are going to peg him. Wow, I saw they hit 1 hit point very briefly.
And that's pretty much gonna do it. It's just clean up aisle 6 now.
Yeah, I think so. Everything coming up TNG here. They've got a 4-ship lead. They own solid control of the middle of the board and the A cap. They can just camp out, and all they have to do now is just keep STAR3 out of the B cap and preserve the health on their surviving ships, really.
Yeah, we didn't really see the Begonia, unfortunately, being a factor over at C cap. I mean, I'm sure that, he went up and did some work. It's just we haven't seen any major hits or anything coming from him like you'd have hoped, I suppose.
Big
that
hits
being said,
big hits on the Napoli there from Late Light again. One of the things, we caught that early Yamato kill, right? Decapitator going out, but man, Late Light playing Yamato kind of exactly. Oh, look at Maruk. He's going in. Oh, Maruk, you turned right into him. You didn't even know they were there. I can't blame him for that. They weren't meant for you.
No, they weren't.
But going back to Late Light, like just textbook Yamato play, right? Kind of kick back, doing the sniper thing, landing big hits where you can, and marrying that for the Cristoforo Colombo really seems to have worked for these guys.
Absolutely. They clearly worked out this plan.
Colombo is not a ship that I've ever played, so I don't really have an opinion on it. I do not care. I don't like the Italian battleship line past tier 7, right? Like the tier 8 and 9 ships just feel terrible to me. So I don't have an opinion on the ship, but I figure with 16 barrels, it can't be all bad, right?
So, and don't forget, the rear barrels are 360 degrees.
I've heard that recently. Is that a change, or was it released that way?
No, she was always like that.
Okay,
I didn't know. Like
I actually didn't know that. Because I've never played the ship. So there you go.
Here comes some sap on the Napoli, Rodrigo.
Oh.
Shows us how it's done.
Cristoforo Colombo strikes again, and this is all over here. 20 seconds on the timer. Only one surviving STAR3 ship. TNG going to sweep the seas clean here on Northern Waters and pick up their third win of the day.
So those rear turrets make it very comfortable to switch sides. It's got really strong armor. It's relatively fast. It's got the ability to use that fuel smoke inky to sneak up on somebody if it wants to. It's got one of those things we like to call a high skill ceiling. In other words, the better the player you are, the more you can get out of that ship. But it's not an easy ship to play by all means.
Yeah, the Italian battleships have just frustrated me. Like, I love Caracciolo at tier 7, but then you get to Veneto at tier 8, and you're like, what in the hell? This ship can't hit anything. And I find I have similar issues with Lepanto. Lepanto's only saving grace is, well, she's got 3 more barrels than Veneto did, but that's about it, right? And Colombo, of course, has 4 more barrels than Lepanto does. So I'm optimistic that I'll like Colombo just because you're just vomiting so many shells, but man, I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, TNG with a victory here on Northern Waters. Very solid, looking good here. On we go to whatever the next game we can round up. We're down for QADD and Tretta in Group 2. Let's go see if that's actually our game.
Is Tretta done for the day, though?
Oh, that's actually a good question. Well, what we were dealing with earlier was a potential game forfeit. It wouldn't have been a forfeit for the whole day.
Right.
We'll go see.
Okay.
We'll go see. We'll go scope it out.